Good morning and welcome to the Daily Tanya. Today is Wednesday, the 26th day of Iyar. Last night we counted 41 days of the Omer. Let's begin with Tzedakah. Tzedakah brings Mashiach closer. So we're starting today, chapter 52. This is the second to the last chapter in the first part of the Tanya. And the Alter Rebbe here continues the explanation of what it means God dwelling in certain places in the world, in certain people. What does it mean that God dwells somewhere? Isn't God everywhere? And we explained in the last few lessons, the Alter Rebbe is using the analogy of the human being. Now we have the body and the soul. And we explained that there are three stages. The soul of the person is really beyond divisions. It cannot be broken down. The soul is in every part of the person. The foot is just as alive as the brain. And this is stage number one. The soul is beyond divisions. Then stage number two, there is the way the soul gives its life to the body is first, it enters the brain. The brain is the nerve center of the entire body, and which means that there is a ray of the soul, something that shines into the brain. And from the brain, there comes out different types of life to each and every particular organ in the body. And that is stage number three. When from the brain, it comes to each organ. And we explained yesterday the first and the last stage, that in the analog, when we're talking about God, that Hashem, God, the essence of God, is completely indivisible. God is everywhere. God is hidden in the highest spiritual world, just as he is hidden in the lowest world. You cannot grasp God in any way. And then we explained also the way Hashem brings his light down to this world, to each particular creature in the way it fits to each, but the energy that comes to each particular creature in this world. And today, the Alter Rebbe begins to explain in this chapter 52 that middle stage, which is the brain of the world. Just like in the human being, the brain is the hub, is the nerve center, that everything comes through the brain. The brain receives first the energy, and the godly energy, the soul energy. The soul energy is revealed first in the brain through thinking, through understanding, and then also through giving the energy to each particular organ. The same thing, there is a spiritual brain in the spiritual worlds. And each creature in each level, in each world, receives its vitality, its energy through this medium of the hub, the center of the energy. What is the energy? What is the brain of each world? This is the intellect, the godly intellect. He's going to explain later on how this is the Torah, the will of God, the wisdom of God, which is basically the source of the energy of each particular world and each particular creation. Everything is included in the Torah, in God's will, which is God's brain, so to speak. So let's see the way the Alter Rebbe says it inside. The Alter Rebbe, וכמוי שבנשמת האדם, עיקר גילוי כלולוס החייס הוא במוחין. וכל האיבורים מקבלים אויר וכוח לבד, המאיר להם ממקור גילוי החייס שבמוחין. And just as in the human soul, the principal manifestation of the undiffused vitality is in the brain, while all the organs receive merely a light and potency which radiates to them from the source of the manifestation of the said vitality in the brain. Meaning, but a human being, the main revelation of the soul is in the brain. Each organ receives only a small part that shines from the brain, from the source of the revelation of the life. Because in the brain, that is the source of the revelation of the soul. Kocha mamesh al derech mashal ika gilui klolus amshachas achayis v'achayis oilames v'abruim shebehem umelubesh v'nichlal ברצוינוי וחכמסוי ובינוסוי ודאיתוי יסבורך הנקראים בשם מייכים. So indeed, kocha mamish, he says, not only so indeed, he says kocha mamish means exactly so, but figuratively speaking, when he's going to compare the life of the body from the soul to the life of the world from God, he says the analogy is a very precise analogy, but it's still figuratively speaking, because obviously, speaking about God, no matter what, you cannot have a perfect understanding. So figuratively speaking, just like you have it in the analogy of the human soul, the same thing is the essential manifestation of the general stream of vitality animating the worlds and the creatures therein, clothed and contained in the blessed will, wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, which are called the intelligence. So the intelligence, a godly intelligence, is the will, wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. This is, in general terms, the intellect, the godly intellect. Where do we find godly intellect? In the Torah and the mitzvahs. And these will, chachma, bina, and das, are clothed in the Torah and its mitzvahs. Now, the manifestation of this general flow of life, which is similar to the undiffused stream of vitality found in the brain, this takes place, as the Alter Rebbe will soon say, when the flow from the intelligence descend into the sphere of Malchus. This is the sphere of Malchus, the attribute of Malchus, is the attribute of Malchus of Atzilus. It is the last level of the world, the spiritual world of Atzilus. And this is the source of life. From there, this is the source of life of all of the worlds. So he says, so this manifestation is the source of the vitality which the worlds receive, each one in particular receiving, but a diffused glow that shines forth from this source. Meaning this source is the beginning of the revelation of the godly energy, and what comes from this source, which is the Malchus of Atzilus, What shines from there is only a ya'ara, a diffuse glow that shines forth from this source. And he says and brings an example, just like the shine, the light that shines from the sun, and the different organs that receive from the brain. In a similar manner to the light that radiates from the sun by way of example, where the rays are but a diffuse glimmer of the sun's essence, and the sun shines, and it shines on everything. It can shine in a beautiful palace, and it can shine on a garbage dump. And it is only the glimmer of the sun's essence. Or as the faculties of the organs of the body derive from the brain, as discussed above in the previous chapter. Now says the Alter Rebbe that this source of life is termed in different terms. He brings now 4 terms, but this source of life, the place, the Malchus Datzilis, which is the source from there, the source of the neshama, source of the world, he calls it 4 terms. It's called Alma Deis Galia, the revealed world. It's called Matranisa, which means the queen. It's called Ima Tatar, which means the lower mother. And it's called Shechina, which means the divine dwelling of the divine presence. And we'll explain that. Says the Alter Rebbe like this: it is this source being a revelation from the general stream of vitality found within the intelligence, which is called in the Kabbalah the world of manifestation. Because as the Alter Rebbe will soon say, it is here that godliness first becomes manifest in the worlds. It is also called Umatranisa. Matranisa in Aramaic is called the queen, because the queen receives her vitality from Kucha Baricha in Aramaic for the Holy One, blessed be He, the King. And is called also Ima Tata, is also known as the nether mother, the lower level of mother. Because the level of Bina is the understanding that's called also mother. There is in the intellectual faculties, there is the Chachma and Bina, the wisdom and understanding. The wisdom is called the father, the understanding is called the mother. Because just like the mother develops and brings out the child and develops the child into becoming a full term, the same thing is Bina, the understanding is breaking down the seed of intelligence and breaking it down to understand it into details. That's called the higher mother, and the lower mother, the nether mother, is called the Malchus, the kingdom, which is the source of giving birth to the next world. And he's also called V'shchina Miloshem V'shachanti B'seicha, but it's called Shchina from the spiritual phrase, and I will dwell among them. Because the Hebrew root means to dwell and to be revealed. And now the Alter Rebbe goes to explain these 4 terms. It says, Al Shem Shemoker Zeu Reishis is Galus Eirein Seif. The above mentioned source is called the world of manifestation, the world of revelation, because this source is the beginning of the revelation of the light of Ein Sof. Of the light of Ein Sof that Hashem brings down in the Malchus after the contraction, and to become revealed, to become a source of different terms, of different something that can be divided and can be revealed, can be identified as different aspects of creatures. So this is the source, the beginning of the revelation. That's why it's called Alma de Isgalia, the revealed world, the world of manifestation. And it's also called, we said, it's called a queen. It is called a queen because it is this level which extends and illumines the world in a revealed manner, similar to a queen. For through her, the wishes of the king are revealed. So the queen is the one that serves like the bridge between the king and the people. So that is why this level is also called the queen. It is also called the lower mother, because this is the source of the individual energy and life that each creature receives. From this source, there extends to each individual thing, world or creature, the particular light and vitality suitable for it. For which reason it is called the nether mother, for it is the mother and source of the particular form of vitality of each and every creature. And he's also called Shechina. It's called Shechina because this Shechina means the divine dwelling. And it dwells and is clothed in them, in the world, and their respective creatures, thereby animating them. That is why it is called Shechina. So these four terms is the Alter Rebbe explained how this is the source of the creatures in the world. Now the Alter Rebbe says also this is also the source of the Jewish souls. The Malchus de Atzilus is also the source of the Jewish souls. And therefore it is also called Eima Banim, the mother of the children, and it is also called Knesset Israel, the community of Israel. That's what Alter Rebbe says. V'lochein nikro Eima Banim al derech mashal. Uknesset Israel shemimoker ze netzlu neshamas de Atzilus v'nivru neshamas de Bria v'chulu. Therefore, it says it is figuratively called the mother of the children, meaning the Jewish souls. And is also called the community of Israel, because from this source, the souls of Atzilus have emanated, these being emanations and not creations, and the souls of Beria have been created, and so forth. So the souls of Atzilus are emanated. What does it mean, emanated? Emanated means that they're just an emanation of Hashem, and they're together and in one with godliness. And there are souls of Atzilus that are special people, unique tzaddikim that live in this world, and their soul is a soul of Atzilus, and that's why, for example, the neshama of Moshe Rabbeinu. Moses had a neshama of Atzilus, which means it's an unfiltered soul. And here in this world, it saw whatever it sees, whatever the awareness, the consciousness of neshama of Atzilus of everything, it sees things as in a godly perspective. It sees the godliness of everything, which is the true and the true essence of everything. That is a neshama of Atzilus. And there's the neshamas that went through the filtering, went through the world of Beria, the lower world, which is already considered a creation, a created neshama of Beria. וכולן אינן רק מהספשטוס החייס והאויר מהמוקר הזה הנקרא שכינה, כי הספשטוס האויר מהשמש. All of them, all the world's creatures and souls, being derived only from the extension of the vitality and light which extends and streams forth from this source which is called Shekhinah, in a manner resembling the radiance of the light from the sun, this radiance being but a ray from its source. So everything is just a radiation from that level, from that source, which is called the Shekhinah. So this is the end of today's share, and tomorrow, Alter Rebbe is going to continue explaining further this concept, the concept of what is the hub of each world, is the brain, the godly brain, which is the godly intellect, which is the Torah. That is why in the Holy of Holies, it was the place where the Holy Ark was there, which is the godly Torah. That was the hub, and that is where the Shekhinah dwells. And this we shall continue tomorrow, God willing. Have a wonderful day.